Hey guys, Nicole here, and I'm back with the Super Saver layout number 2 from the Super Sketch Club kit. This kit is the January 14 kit by Scrapbook Generation, and even though this is the second layout of the Super Savers, this happened to be the first one that I filmed, so the process of actually cutting down all of the papers and the different elements is actually included in this video. So I hope that's not confusing, because normally I try to keep the first video, like the Super Saver layout number 1, I try to have all the different papers and cutting it apart and everything attached to that video, but I had mentioned in a previous video that the next couple of kits that I'm actually going to be working on, I'm not going to be doing the entire kit. I'm just doing specific layouts from within those kits that I have pulled and printed photos for. And normally I would print out all the photos for the 5 layouts for that kit and then just put the whole kit together, but I was just trying to get a lot of kits done in the next month or two, and it was easier for me to just sort of cherry pick which pictures I was going to work on. And I went to Scrapbook Generation's blog, I printed out the photos for the kits and just kind of went through the different layouts, and if I instantly thought of photos, I went ahead and edited them, uploaded them to Shutterfly, and had them printed. And so here I'm just cutting all the different papers apart. I'm following the cutting guide that comes in the kit, which is just out of frame. I don't show that in the videos because that's sort of what you're buying when you subscribe to these kits. And as I'm cutting everything apart, I'm sort of keeping piles on my desk as far as which papers and which elements go on the 3 different layouts. That way when I come back to this kit, the papers are already cut and everything's kind of ready to go and laid out for me. And here those photos again are from Scrapbook Generation's blog, so I just printed them out for reference for myself, and I'm using them to sort of figure out where all these different 3x4 cards go. And again, I'm just laying out 2 of the craft cardstocks, putting all the papers that go with that one on top, and I'm doing that for all 3 layouts. And then these are all the papers that go to sketch number 2, which my photo reference sheet, they're out of order, but on the actual instructions, this one is labeled as number 2. And that little scratch piece of paper there at the bottom is the little notes that I make myself when I'm going through and deciding which kit I'm going to put together, what photos I need to print, what size they need to be, and where they're going to be in the photo arrangement. And so I make those up as I'm editing my photos and sending them out to print and stuff. And then when I get my photos back, I just go through and match everything up, and then I put it with my kit. And there's a video that I posted last week on my channel that just kind of goes into more detail as far as taking notes, when I'm matching photos up to my kits and stuff. And here I wanted to ink the edges in a black chalk ink, but mine was dry. It was brand new, and when I tried to use it, it was dry. So I just grabbed one of these little Hero Arts ink cubes. I have a couple of the mini ones to try out and decide if I want to invest in the larger stamp pads. And so I just very carefully used that to ink the edges in like a dark gray color. And I don't think that those ink pads are necessarily intended for that use, but because they were fairly new, they worked. I just prefer like the cat eye chalk inks for that. I kind of feel like they work a little bit better. But again, I was in a pinch, and I am a big fan of not wasting a lot of time to go, find something else. So I just kind of looked around what was already on my desk, and I went with what I had available. And I believe here I'm just working on the right-hand page and putting down those 2 strips of paper and the big background paper. And here I'm sort of playing with the idea in my mind of eventually getting some vellum out and matting my photos, because I kind of felt like that black damask paper was just competing with my photos. I mean, I don't think there was anything great going on in my photos that I was losing. It was just, I don't know, to me, I needed something else, and my go-to is typically to just do a vellum matte, because you still see the pattern paper behind it, and it just kind of gives sort of a softer place for your eye to land, and then go into the background paper. I think anything, even like a color cardstock probably would have worked too, but again, I just went with what I had sort of out of frame on my desk, and if you saw the pile that was out of frame, you would probably be horrified. Like, I tend to work on a lot of things at the same time, and the pile of stuff that sort of gets set aside tends to just get really, really big, and then eventually I just go through and I put everything away, and I kind of take a break from doing stuff, and then I get back into it. And like right now, I'm getting ready to get back into these scrapbook generation kits and get a bunch of photos scrapped. I got right around, I want to say 300 photos from Shutterfly for free, because we have Huggies reward points. So I used those to get a whole bunch of prints, and I was really excited to see when I opened them that they were true 4x6, because when you're doing sketches or kits from Scrapbook Generation, they do a lot of where like your photos go from one margin to the edge to the other, and if your photos are not 6 inches wide or tall, depending on the orientation, you end up with a gap and you have to cut your papers down, and it gets really frustrating. So I was really excited to see that Shutterfly was a true 4x6 print. And so now I've got probably 100 photos set aside and matched up to a bunch of kits that I'm going to start putting together and uploading videos. And here, again, I'm just following the sketch and the photo printouts to determine where the sticker placements go. And then here's the vellum that I was talking about. And it's kind of hard to see in the video, but in person it does sort of soften up that harsh edge of the photos going into that damask pattern paper, and it just kind of softens it up a little bit. And again, I'm taking that same gray ink and just inking the edges of the vellum to help it have more of a presence on that damask pattern. And I'm just going to go ahead and put those 2 photos down. And then the only thing that I have left to do is the rest of the stickers that go on there. Originally, I had pulled out a couple of stamp sets, and I thought about doing like a die cut title or something, but by the time I got done, I don't know, I was okay with it. A lot of times I do like to add more of a personal touch to these kits, but this time I was happy with it. I didn't really feel like it needed anything, and I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot of space to sort of go out on my own. I did walk away from it after I completed it and came back, and I thought, well, could I add anything? And I eventually just decided, no, I'm going to stop. And later on down the road, I'll just print out some journaling strips and put them on that blue label. And I'll probably end up doing it the next time I sit down to do computer generated journaling, just knock out a couple of them at the same time. So that is the entire layout, and I will have another still photo of the completed page in case anybody wanted to see more details of the page. And I will continue to post videos that go with this kit in a playlist labeled January 2014 Super Saver Sketch Club. Thanks for watching.